What is so interesting, Rebecca, even as we talk about these things, I mean, it's so interesting that the things that we talk about are so simple, so simple. The body is not complex. The Creator has blessed us with health already. What is
Yes.
causing the hormone imbalance? What is causing the hormone imbalance disorders? Is because of imbalances, lack of key minerals. We talked about the value of omega-6 and the value of omega-3, omega-9. These are very important essential fats that we can get from pumpkin seeds. We can eat more pumpkin seeds. So I want to talk a little bit, just as we close in the area of food, and we can actually eat more of these sesame seeds, sunflower seeds. We can grind them. We can actually don't expose them to heat too much, because otherwise they get rancid or they get damaged, what we really need. So at the same time, just by actually choosing to eat what we call oily fish, that is also very good for your brain. Again, if you don't eat fish, then you can actually have an alternative. You can get a fish supplement that actually has got DHA or EPA inside of it, built in as again you need to have these essential fats. That's why they call it essential. And at the same time, we can also get into the area of really avoiding saturated fat, which is fine. Is people sometimes have a high meat intake, and this can also lead to a clogging up of arteries, a clogging up of the body's capacity to really balance itself. And a lot of this can lead to what we call hormone imbalance. So we have to also look at the fact that we have within the carbohydrates as a main fuel, what we call fast releasing sugars, which can also interfere with our hormone balance. And things like white sugar, honey, malt. Now, honey has got great benefits, but again, sometimes if you're in a state of hormone imbalance, you can actually now need more of the slow releasing carbohydrates, which are built in whole grains like legumes, beans, peas, lentils, things that we saw earlier on: Brussels sprouts, carrots, watercress, green beans, bell peppers, fresh fruits like apples, pears, melon. All these things are very good in terms of what we call slow releasing carbohydrates, and they are filled with what they call the complex carbohydrates, which actually our body really needs. We talked about the fiber. In fact, studies are now showing that the rural African is actually eating more dietary fiber than the one who lives in the city. And you find that this means that a lot of people who are in the villages, they're living a much healthier lifestyle because they're eating a lot more fiber than us in the city, who are sometimes relying on fast foods and refined foods and all kinds of things like that. So these are all contributing factors again to hormone imbalance. We talked about the value of water. Your body's made up of 70% water, but most important, we have to make sure we drink at least 1.5 to 2 liters a day, again, for lubrication. We talked about the power of water's assimilation, your power to absorb, and also vitamins. Vitamins actually turn on enzymes. They're very important in all body processes. Your body needs vitamins to balance hormones. Your body needs vitamins to really have healthy skin. Your body needs vitamins for optimal brain function. Your body needs vitamins to actually protect your arteries. Vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E. You find all these in the Mariandina. They're very good for slowing down the aging process. Sometimes we're going through rapid aging. People start going through a state of rapid aging because of the fact that, again, the body's antioxidants, body's lacking key antioxidants. Or they move into a state of cancer. Cancer can start in anybody at any time. And sometimes people have cancer, by the time it comes to breast cancer, or cancer of the prostate, cancer of the liver, cancer of the kidney, cancer of the uterus, cancer of the cervix, it's all been brewing for many years before it actually moves into full-blown stage 1 cancer. So these are things that we can use as the power of prevention, is using nutrients to create a sense of what we call repair and regeneration. We talked about beta carotene, which you can find in bell peppers, in orange fruits, in melon, in butternut squash. A lot of these vegetables have beta carotene in them. And the beta carotene, like I said, is so essential for really improving your body's capacity in terms of dealing with any infection. Like we're in the middle of a pandemic right now, and the number one nutrient that deals with any form of infection is beta carotene. That's what the body uses, the fast firefighting wall. At the same time, beta carotene, if you're low in beta carotene, as you saw earlier, you'll have poor sleep, poor appetite. Again, these are things that we have to look into. Vitamin D, we know, is made in our skin, but it's also very essential for many bodily processes. Vitamin E, very important for hormone health. and mainly found in avocado. Eat more avocado. Again, making sure you're actually eating a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, greens. Again, don't oversteam or overboil or over fry. Or sometimes the Chinese have a good way of doing it. They have a shallow fry if they need to fry, but mostly steaming is much, much better. And even eating them raw is even much more better. So you cut very tiny things or get a grater and grate some very fine beetroot, grate some very fine carrots, grate some very fine cucumber, grate some very fine things. Make yourself a nice salad. At least have a salad every day if you can, and really improve your fresh natural. You can even eat the broccoli. You can cut the little broccoli florets and cut them into very tiny pieces. Again, mix them in a nice salad. Add some lemon, add some vinegar if you want, or other things to just make some condiments. You could put some spices, some parsley, something, and make a nice salad and enjoy that. Cut up some tomatoes, get some sun-dried tomatoes. These are all things that we can help in terms of, again, improving. And then after the end, you can sprinkle some sesame seed oil. Get yourself some cold pressed sesame seed oil, or even use sesame seed oil on your food preparation, or you can use what we call things like again, olive oil. After you've made the salad, you can sprinkle put some olive oil on there. Again, this is rich in the polyunsaturated fats that the body needs, and also the monosaturated fats. So these are what we want to really begin to journey forward in terms of using more seed oils. One thing we want to do is create awareness. And minerals are so important. We know that some people are lacking magnesium. They're lacking magnesium. We saw it is very important for insulin resistance. Calcium is for your bones. Phosphorus is very important for making bone health. And if also your nerve signals in the body are so dependent on the phosphorus presence and the presence of magnesium. Things like your oxygen is carried in the blood by iron. So if you have low iron levels, you'll find that, again, this is going to affect the way your oxygen is carried around the body, because hemoglobin, again, is a part of the hemoglobin is made of iron. So women sometimes, because of the menstrual cycle, can suffer from low iron levels, and they become fatigued or become tired. Zinc, we saw, is very important in terms of really improving your capacity, in terms of your capacity to boost the immune system, sperm formation, prostate health, all dependent on zinc. Selenium is the #1 nutrient when it comes to heart function. And at the same time, you find that a lot of what is going on is that we need to take in a lot of these phytoestrogens, which are called plant estrogens. Things like lentils are also something that have a lot of phytoestrogens, things like soya, but soya in the genetically modified form is better. And if you're a woman, don't eat too much soy, because that, again, can over-estrogenize you. So you've got to be careful not to eat too much tofu and things like that. Again, at the same time, for men, it's the same thing. If you're eating too much soya, it can also create a balance. So if you look at the Eastern world, a lot of the soy that they use is fermented soy. Okay, and this is more preferable in terms of the body's ability to assimilate and also take in that soy and use it effectively. And you find that they live longer because of that, using fermented soy. But in the Western world, a lot of the soy that is in use is unfermented, and that causes a problem. And also a lot of it is genetically engineered. So we end up with many conditions and situations that actually challenge our bodies overall in a long-term way. Now, we talked about the value of Agnus cactus. It's got a long history as a medicinal herb that actually helps with PMS symptoms, and also is very important for helping to actually have an increased levels of progesterone. Again, talked about black horse. Black horse is in the Mariandina J. Very good for people who've got menopausal symptoms like hot flashes, heart palpitations, leg cramps. It's also very good for. We also have wild yam, which also improves progesterone effects. We can eat more yam. Yam is a very good thing for women and men as well, but also the normal yam, but also you have something called wild yam that you can also utilize. Dong Quai is another one from China. Very good, again, for actually helping with progesterone balance. Some people also tend to use progesterone creams in the menopausal area to, again, improve the body's capacity to really deal with a hormone imbalance. Ginseng and licorice, again, ginseng and licorice you find in Mariandina B. Very important as adaptogens. They help to restore hormone balance and also help with strengthening what we call the licorice helps strengthen estrogen when levels are too low, and also inhibits too much estrogen being put. So licorice is a good one as an adaptogen. For men, we also want to use ginseng. Ginseng is also in the Mariandina B as an excellent remedy to help us to adapt to stress, but also, again, as a stimulant. And Damiana is very important for actually optimizing what we call testosterone in the body. And also saw permanent, as men age up to the age of 40, we're going to need certain herbs like saw palmetto, Pygidium africanum. We're going to need herbs that will help us to optimize the situation as a whole.